You just won't believe it. Well, I asked a big question. I'll say this, but I'll first meet him. Well, we're looking at the Yes agenda. Joining me now is Tosin Akande. He's an attorney at law and also the Yes Party House of Representatives candidate here in Lagos State. Good to have you join me this evening. Let me tell them why they caught me in that. I was asking the full meaning of the acronym YES, and you go, is Yes
Electorate
System.
Yes.
And I go, yes, as the first Y is yes. And you say, you've never heard of that? No, all right. So tell us about Yes Electorate System. What's your party about?
Yeah, Yes is, as the acronym sounds, first and foremost, it's going to be the dawn of a new era for Nigerians who have been asking questions, from the governments in the past. We need basic infrastructures, portable water, good roads, constant supply of power, all these things will drive the economy. So, and the answer before now has always been, do you have it? No. Do you have this? No. So I think smarting from that dimension, Yes became a fantastic option for the Nigerian electorate. So, and as you can see from the name, Yes Electorate Solidarity. It's a solidarity with the Nigerian masses, with the Nigerian people who all over the years have been, unjustifiably militarized, deprived of the basic things of life. So I think it's the dawn of a new era.
Come to think of it, I think it was only recently my daughter, she said to me that her teacher said we don't have portable, drinking water. I was almost going to, give excuses for all of that, and I said, wait a minute, do you have water? And you said these basics of life have not been provided for the people by the government. How do you hope to achieve all of this? Because we have seen politicians come to talk and pick holes, in what is happening at the moment, and when they get into office, we just realize they don't have the blueprint.
Oh, well, in answering your question, I'll let you have one thing at the back of our minds. It's very clear and settled that yes, we agree that some politicians, a majority of them, have been very cocky. Okay, and they've been very, very untruthful with respect to their manifestos, electoral promises to the Nigerian people. But we are a party with a difference. We believe in traditions, even though we are steeped in serious modernity. For example, there is an African proverb that says that the child's hands cannot get to the top of the ceiling. The adult's hands, on the other hand, will not enter into the guard. Okay, so the adult will require the child will require the adult, all right, so to create a balance. So, for example, our cardinal policies of not too young to run syncs with not too big to support, all right. It tells you that we are blending the young people who presumably will not have enough financial resources to prosecute elections. On the other hand, we are dealing with the big ones in a way that is lawful and legit to make them, of course, come to the table with some of their resources, because you need money to do elections. All right. Then we also have the not too poor to support. And then, of course, my votes will not and never be bought. With that one, we say sure yes, because that's the bane of electioneering now in this country, vote buying and vote selling. We want Nigerians to have, indeed, a true alternative, not just credible, true. And then you look at our party manifesto. For instance, the promoters of our party, for instance, a lot of them are drawn from the diaspora, and a majority of them are also drawn from the home front here. So the thing is, we are trying to create a nexus, the bridge between what obtains in the advanced nations of the world vis-a-vis the provisions of basic infrastructure, just basic, for God's sake, basic, light, constant light. It shouldn't be an issue with Nigeria. So we are trying to marry all these things together to create a balanced Nigeria. And we know that this country naturally is a great country. But our Yes Party, we say we desire to make Nigeria a greater party.
I think fine talk there. And going back to what Rotimi Pasheda said, he said, well, the party, or 2019 will be an election year where many Nigerians will start looking towards personalities and not political parties.
That's true.
For your party, do you think they have that advantage of the electorate looking towards its, candidates by virtue of maybe quality?
Clearly, it's not on our side because an average Nigerian will keep asking, is that a political party? When you say yes. Yes, it is a political party. One, by law, there are 91 registered political parties now in this country. So it behoves on each political party to sell its promises. And that's part of what we are doing now, and before now, and even after now, we'll continue to do what we call voters' education. Even at INEC, there is a whole department, commissioned entirely for the task of voters' education. You must continue to educate the people that we, of all the 91 political parties, are a clear-cut, different political party with a fantastic ideology that will drive the economy of this country, that will make every Nigerian proud. Okay, that will make you all proud. That's it. For example, if I may just cite an example, I said at our convention that, look, my candidacy is not about, mudslinging and dragging one person up or down or something. No, it's issue-based. Please, I even wrote to major political individuals that, look, it's not a personal contest. It's sure an electoral contest. So if whoever wins is for the good of the people, okay, so now you sell your your promises. And I've told them that within 28 days, for instance, of commencement of legislative work, I desire to revisit that issue of 37 LCDAs in Lagos State. At the moment, they have been, just there. And for the past few years, since 2003, that political judgment, nobody seems to be talking effectively about it. But what do we do about it? Are we okay with the though creative, excuse me, with the though creative gesture about it in such a way that the 57 political parties are now sharing what is meant for 20? It will definitely create a strain
you're a lawyer,
on the economy, okay?
You have a better understanding of that. Do you still think that that's inchoate?
The question, thank you, you brought up the issue of inchoate. The question is, how many Nigerians even know the meaning of inchoate? Inchoate is not the same thing as illegal. Inchoate
so
just
the process
means
is not complete.
It's not. That's it. It's just not complete. Okay, so the issue is we have to make it complete. There is no law stopping or barring anyone from revisiting it, and making it complete. So because at the moment, it's going to create a strain.
Sorry, not cutting you. I'd like to give more time to my guest on this show. But are you then saying that some of those who are in the National Assembly now, as it is, from Lagos State, should have actually been looking into some of these issues?
Hey, Alide, let's not go there. I deliberately said, you see, the fact that I have said
there already.
The fact that I have said it, or mooted the idea, or revisited the issue, shouldn't be looked at from the perspective of probably discredit. But these are the things that we're saying to the general masses. You make your choice. Okay, if some people have been there before, that's the best they can put up, in all sincerity. In all, you quote my words, quote me, read my lips, in all sincerity, that is the best they can do. Okay, and somebody else has come to say, look, this is just one of the best I can offer. It's a tip of the iceberg. If you allow me get there for you, to speak for you, to represent you, to do oversight functions for Nigeria vis-a-vis through this platform, you see so much.
I think that it would seem as if you're doing a cover-up for some of these people. When you talk about oversight function, I live in a community, for instance, and I have a representative at the Senate and House of Representatives. They still have not been able to influence some of these things coming to that community. And if you say they have done, you said in the best of your knowledge with all sincerity, and I'm asking myself, how sincere do you think their actions or inactions have been?
I think
towards their constituents.
I want to leave that.
Let's come back to you.
Seriously, let me correct one impression. Oversight function is not the same as representative functions. What you meant really is representative functions.
Absolutely, because that's
because
the core
oversight
objective
functions. No. The core objective is lawmaking.
The main core objective after lawmaking, rather, yes, is a twin. Twin in this aspect. I want to go with Pacheda.
Okay.
The people.
Yes.
if it doesn't affect the people, it doesn't look good.
That's why I said I wouldn't want to be the one to say, by virtue of your 4-year stint or tenure in the National Assembly, the people didn't feel you. You allowed the people to say, we didn't feel you. Okay, in coming up with my own electoral promises, let the people begin to see the good or the bad in it, so that I'm not going to be mudslinging anyone. What I've just said is simple. I would like to revisit the issue of the 37 LCDAs. Why? Because the Supreme Court said the procedure that led to its creation is inchoate. It did not say it's illegal. Had it said it's illegal, then no going back there. It would have been considered a res judicata, things that have been decided upon. Don't go back there. But it said it's incomplete, and there is no law that says we cannot go back to make it complete. All right, so that's why I said I'm going to do a legislative motion on that. Besides, it's now going to be the benefit of not just the people of Lagos Mainland Federal Constituency, which is where I seek to represent. It's now going to be the entire benefit of Lagosians and the entire Lagos State government. So at the moment, the injustice is rife, and we need to correct it. It's a serious imbalance.
So far, how is it going with your people?
Fine, all is well with my people. At Yes Party, for instance, we are fine. We are looking forward to February 2019. We can't even wait for INEC to lift the ban, because there's going to be so much more of fantastic offer for mainland people, for instance, and for Ethiopia people, where my other colleague will be representing. So it's a potpourri of good news. Nigerians have never gotten it, this good, and that's why I'm here to tell them. Not only that, I'll shock you a little that Nigerians, there are several laws that are not even looked at. As a lawyer, I believe that understanding the Constitution is more or less the same way a religious faithful seeks to understand the scriptures of their Quran or the Bible or whatever it is. So without sounding arrogant or immodest, the Constitution for me is, like Achibe said, is the yam with which we enjoy palm oil in Africa. So I'm at home with the Constitution. I'm at home with drafting. I've had 8 years at the National Assembly. I've had 4 years in the State House of Assembly. So I understand the dynamics, the politics that go on in there, aside the intellectual promise I'm bringing on the table. So it's just for the people. I'm not saying that despite all this, I can't lose the election, okay? So I'm saying that I'm a gentleman to the core. Regardless of whoever wins, I'm saying the people will benefit, because by virtue of all these things I've just put here today, I'm sure it's going to bring a positive rippling effect on our politics. So I don't have to win the elections, but I know I'm working hard enough to win, that I may do so much good for the people.
Money in our politics is still very much a factor.
It's always a serious issue.
And just when you said, well, some people would ask, Yes Party, well, we haven't heard much about Yes Party. You don't have a presidential candidate,
We do.
you?
We do. And he's one of your colleagues. At least I show you did.
Now, you see, I'm asking questions, and if I don't know some of these things, because then it then means that, well, you haven't actually done enough by sensitizing the people.
You see, there's a deliberate policy on the part of the party to be conservative, partly, towards publicity. INEC hasn't lifted the ban on political campaigns. It's going to happen November 18th. So we are stemming it, we're taking it in our strides. But between you and I, at least maybe because he's he was the owner of the Ben TV in London.
No,
I'm sure he has his cards up his sleeves, and we have our cards up our sleeves individually too as well. So a part of it is this: coming on here. I've been on several other programs before now. I've been doing door-to-door, campaign, whittled down campaign. Shouldn't be as loud yet. But I'm sure that come November 18, there's so much for you.
And when you speak to some of these people, none has asked that you grease their palms.
Of course, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Even you go to some media houses and their security guys are asking you, hey, honorable, it's a Nigerian thing.
Don't bring the low guys down.
Okay.
I think, in as much as you try not to, make nonsense of some of your politicians. No, let's talk about the media people. When you meet them, leave the security people.
All right.
they still ask you to bring money before you talk on television?
Not every one of them. I have to be very honest with you.
Good.
Not every one of them, but there's a large chunk.
Because
it's a Nigerian thing, regardless of your profession.
Because that shouldn't be.
It shouldn't.
You should be given fair chance to talk.
You know, maybe they are doing this because we haven't approached the INEC date of November 18th. Okay, so but by the time the date comes, I know that it's a law that regulates political broadcasting. So it has to be fair reporting across boards. Okay, but I'm just saying that this issue of money is so important and germane to our politics that when they ask me anyway, I always tell them, I affirm that I don't have money to give you now because I have my intellect to give to you. If I give you money now, I'll be justified in not doing anything for you, okay, in the next 4 years. Because if you take money.
Well, Tosin Akande, Lagos House of Representatives Yes Party candidate.
For Lagos Mainland.
Yeah, for Lagos Mainland.
Federal
Best wishes. And, I assure you on Political Stew here, we'll always give support to your movement towards this, so it is for every other one that comes on this program.
That's right.
So I want to say best wishes, and I really can't wait to see you in Abuja and talk more about our constitution, since it will be like yam and palm oil.
According to Chino Achebe.
Well, that's it on the show today. My bit of snack isn't coming, but it has to do with what exactly is happening in Kaduna State. We've been seeing viral videos of people being maimed and stoned, and we're hoping that the government will do something pronto. Now we're talking about the federal government. If it does mean that they're moving, please do all of that. And we hope that Nigerians will learn to love each other, irrespective of what's happening in the social media, your different political leaning, religious beliefs, and all. It shouldn't, lead to what exactly we're seeing at the moment. 2019 is just around the corner, and we're hoping that politicians, as they remain friends, the people will remain family. That's a wrap on the show. See you again next week.